You ever have one of those moments where you realize the American dream you bought into comes with a Karen installed by default? Yeah, that was me 3 years ago, the day I moved into Oak Ridge Estates with my son. If you'd seen us pulling up, just the two of us in a rented truck that rattled worse than my nerves, you'd think we were chasing hope, not running from something. But the truth is, we'd already lost everything. Fire took our house, took my wife, almost took my son. The only thing it couldn't burn was that stubborn little spark he kept alive somewhere deep down, the one I saw flicker back to life the first time I caught him laughing, feeding ducks at Oak Ridge Pond. And for a moment there, I believed in second chances. Oak Ridge was that kind of place. Tree-lined streets, kids racing bikes, perfect yards, neighbors waving from porch swings like something out of a Norman Rockwell painting. But even Rockwell had to paint over mistakes sometimes. And if you ask me, he never had to deal with Judith Perkins. Now, Judith didn't just introduce herself, she made an entrance. Clipboard at her side, smile stretched tight like she'd ironed it onto her face, and that classic opener, "Welcome to the community. I'm the HOA president. You know, in a different life, she might have made a heck of a stage manager. Organized, sure. Strict, you bet. But by the end of week one, I realized organized in Judith's world meant she kept a spreadsheet on your very soul. Day 5, first violation notice, garage door left open past community standard, whatever that was. Day 7, trash cans visible for longer than 30 minutes. By day 10, I figured if I sneezed in the wrong direction, Judith would cite me for wind pollution. I'm not kidding, this woman had the bylaw manual memorized. She'd pace the neighborhood at sunrise, ruler in one hand, iPhone in the other, measuring grass like she was prepping for the Masters and snapping photos like a private eye chasing a cheating spouse. They called her the rule book queen, and not a soul dared push back. She kept files on everyone who parked crooked, whose dog barked after dusk, whose mailbox flag was faded. Me. I tried to play nice, smile and nod, act like I'd read those bylaws instead of using them as kindling in my mind. But what got me more than the rules was the way she talked down to folks, especially anyone who didn't fit her idea of perfect. You know, things got real personal the day she met my boy, Tyler. 10 years old, hair still growing and patchy from the fire, but rocking his favorite red fire truck shirt like it was armor. She stared at his scars, just a second too long, lips pressing into that brittle smile. "What a brave little boy," she said, like bravery was some kind of contamination. "You must be so proud." And I was, but her voice made it sound like something you should be ashamed of. After that, she started lingering when Tyler played out front, checking hedges, inspecting mailboxes, but always with one eye locked on him. One afternoon, I saw her scribbling something while he was just drawing chalk rockets on the sidewalk. That's when it hit me. Judith didn't hate rule breakers. She hated reminders that Oak Ridge wasn't a flawless snow globe. And to her, my son was a crack in the glass. Next HOA meeting, she slides in this new rule buried in Section 12 about maintaining appearances consistent with neighborhood standards to preserve community value. The kind of phrasing that sounds harmless till it isn't. Folks nodded along, eyes glazed over, probably dreaming about lawn fertilizer. I should have known she was gearing up for a war, and not with me, but with my kid. By the next weekend, it was a full-blown obsession. Every time Tyler went outside, her blinds twitched. Every giggle, every water balloon, every chalk drawing was in her mind. Evidence. That Sunday, I remember it so clear sky, bright enough to hurt music playing Tyler helping me wash my old truck. He was happier than I'd seen him in months, soap suds on his nose, sunlight bouncing off the hood, and for about 5 minutes I forgot what we'd been through. Then came the cavalry. Judith stormed down the street, 2 board members trailing behind like nervous mall cops, clipboard clenched, mouth pinched so tight I thought she might snap. "This is exactly what I'm talking about," she barked, pointing at Tyler like he'd just spray-painted the Mona Lisa. "Your son's condition is a distraction. Half the neighborhood is talking." Time kind of stopped. Tyler just froze, hose dangling, all that light drained right out of him. "He's a child, Judith," I said, feeling my hands start to shake. "A brave one. The only distraction here is you." She shot back. Our community standards are clear, Mr. Matthews. Appearances must be maintained. If he can't play somewhere less visible, perhaps the backyard, I'll have no choice but to fine you. And that was it. No more. I told Tyler, go inside, buddy. Dad needs a minute. I waited until I heard the door click, then turned to face her, not as a scared neighbor, but as a father who'd had enough. You're not enforcing standards. You're bullying a 10-year-old because he doesn't fit your snapshot. That's discrimination. Oh, please, she scoffed, rolling her eyes. Don't make this dramatic. I'm protecting property values. I actually laughed one of those short, tired laughs you let out when you're done playing nice. Great, because you just lowered yours. Then I handed her an envelope thick with paperwork. Cease and desist from my attorney for harassment, defamation, discrimination. Everything you've said caught on my dash cam, uploaded already to the cloud. She glanced at my truck, saw the little red light blinking on the dashboard, and her confidence cracked for the first time. You can't record me without consent? She stammered. One-party consent state, I said, steady as I could. And guess what? I'm the party. Even her sidekicks started shifting their feet. David, the only board member with a spine, finally spoke up. Judith, this isn't right. Maybe we should talk about this at a meeting. But Judith doubled down. No, he's in violation and I will not be intimidated. Then, believe it or not, she tried to shove past me, headed for my front porch. Move. As HOA president, I have authority to inspect. I pulled out my phone, thumb hovering over 911. You set 1 foot on my property and I'll have you removed for trespassing and harassment of a disabled child. She hesitated just for a heartbeat, then pushed again. So I dialed. 911, what's your emergency? I have a woman trespassing on my property. She's been harassing my son who's disabled. The rest. Well, if you ever want to see karma work in real time, watch a self-crowned HOA queen try to explain herself to a cop. Officer Reynolds happens to be an old firefighter buddy of mine, showed up in under 5. He listened to both sides, face turning to stone, as Judith ranted about community standards and protecting the image. Then he looked at Tyler peeking from behind the window and turned back to Judith. Ma'am, he said, voice cool as ice, you can't trespass. And you certainly can't target a child for his appearance. That's not enforcement, that's harassment. Her voice cracked high and shaky. You can't arrest me. I'm the HOA president. And I'm the officer telling you you're under arrest, he said, snapping cuffs on her wrists before she could splutter another word. The whole neighborhood was watching. For the first time in who knows how long, Judith Perkins had nothing left to hide behind. Just a woman exposed, all her rules and power stripped away right there on my driveway. By Friday, the board voted to boot her unanimously. She was fined to put on probation, banned from ever contacting my family again. And for the first time since we'd moved in, Oak Ridge Estates felt like a neighborhood, not a dictatorship. The next weekend, Tyler and I hung a new bird feeder in the front yard. He looked up big, hopeful eyes and asked Dad, can I play out here again? I ruffled his hair, grinning so hard it hurt. You can play anywhere you want, kiddo. The only rule now is just be yourself. Funny thing is, the grass got a little longer that summer and the mailboxes weren't all regulation perfect anymore, but folks started smiling for real again. Kids played without worry, and sometimes you could hear laughter echoing down the block after sunset. So let me ask you, what do you think matters more, keeping up appearances or letting people just live and heal in peace? Ever had to stand up to someone who tried to shrink your world down to their idea of perfect? Drop your thoughts. Below, tell me about your wildest HOA run-in or what justice means to you. And hey, if you believe in real neighborhoods, the kind where scars and second chances are both welcome, hit. Like, share your story and let's show the world what community really looks like.